What's going on, Luke Simonds? Victorious round one of Road to the Title 3. How you doing, my man?
Great, great. How are you?
Really good, dude. Welcome to Slap News. This is the first time we've got you in a long format here. I
Yeah.
want to get into it.
All right.
Where did you grow up, and what kind of kid were you?
I grew up in McDonough, Georgia, and I was a pretty. I was athletic. I played sports year round, all the way from the age of 3 up until 15, and I was quiet, more shy. But when I played sports, I performed very well on the field with all the eyes on me.
Awesome, man. What was it about sports that drew you to it?
I don't know. I grew up with my dad's he's a very manly type of guy. And yeah, I just did it. It was naturally came to me. I was better at the contact sports like wrestling and football. And I was really good at baseball too,
Mm-hmm.
but I gravitated more towards the contact sports.
Gotcha. So football, wrestling. You said a little bit of baseball. Do you
Yeah.
find that type of training, that type of discipline, is it helping you now in power slap?
Oh yeah. Just like always being athletic and having the hand-eye coordination that every sport helped me.
Mhm.
It, there's kids that grow up not doing sports, and then you see them try to throw or catch a ball, and it's like they can't even do the simplest things like that very well. So it just seems like it was second nature for me.
Absolutely. That's great to hear, man. But outside of sports, what kind of student were you? Were you an A student, B student? Just get by?
uh, no, I was a student to elementary school, and then middle school. The grades slowly started going down.
Mhm.
Sixth grade, I did all right. Seventh grade, still did all right. Eighth grade, I barely scraped by. And then I got to high school, and I wasn't taking it seriously, even though they said it actually counts when you get to high school. And
Mhm.
because they pushed me from eighth grade to ninth grade, even though I probably failed. And I get to ninth grade, still not taking it serious. I was just not interested in school at all. And like I'm smart, but if
Yeah.
I wouldn't be focused just because it's not fun to learn math and stuff like that to me. I'd rather be out in the woods. Like I grew up going in the woods. I like Survivor Man and Man versus Wild a lot. I like to just get out in nature. And I have a lot of Native American roots, like Creek and Cherokee Indian. So just naturally, that stuff, I gravitated towards.
Awesome, man. Do you have any good stories of any long treks or expeditions that you did?
Um, I definitely went on long hikes through the woods and found like some abandoned cabins, and um, when we would follow like a stream as far as we could go, and then we randomly come up on a one of the roads nearby and be like, "Oh, this is where this leads." So nothing too crazy though. We would be, I'd get like a slingshot, and I'd be trying to get squirrels with it.
Mhm.
I'd get a pellet gun with my friend. We shot a squirrel, and then I'm like, all right, we got to eat it. So I skinned the squirrel with him and ate the squirrel. But I was always, kind of. I wouldn't say different. A lot of young boys are like that, but
Mhm.
I was really into it for sure.
Awesome, man. Are you much of a hunter or fisher at all?
I've never, well, I fished, but I never went actually hunting for like deer or anything. But all my friends had done that. I didn't have land like that. Like I grew up on about an acre, which
Mhm.
was pretty good. And then it would kind of go into the woods that no one necessarily owned, and we'd go through there and stuff. But it's like our neighborhood kind of connected to some woods that I guess it was government owned, however that went.
Mhm.
But and then fishing, I liked fishing for a good while, but it just after I fished, like a lot of guys I knew, they would catch like those huge bass, and I never
Mhm.
got like the biggest bass or nothing. I would just get like some brim or crappie, and I'd catch fish in numbers, but and it wasn't the funnest thing to me just because I just I'm not. I'm patient enough to do it, but
Mhm.
And I would get more interested in like catching snakes going across the ground. I have some pictures way back on my Instagram if you scroll down far enough of like a 5 or 6 foot long rat snake I took a picture with. I would do landscaping growing up with my dad, and I would find rat snakes all the time. And I had to take a picture with them and put it on my Instagram because I thought that was cool. Just a very country lifestyle growing up, not like on a farm or nothing, but in Georgia, especially then, like where I lived in McDonough, it's grown up so much. Like it was country, and then as the Atlanta area kept growing and expanding, it started to become a small town, and now it's a pretty big town. So I've got the countryside in me, but then I'm also got like the city boy aspect that came into play as I got older.
Gotcha. Talk to me when you found the weight room.
Let's see. I was in 9th grade. I did cross country when I was 14, and I didn't like cross country at all because I would just be running. And like my cousin, he was good at it. My cousin, he ran track and cross country for UGA. His name's Zach Sims. He was a beast at that. So he set all these records at Eagles Landing High School back in Georgia. And I was like, okay, it's in our blood, and it's on my dad's side. We're all good at endurance. Even my dad was good at that. But I never stuck with it just because I didn't like it. And I started seeing social media and stuff of way back in the day. If you know Jeff Side, he's a natural bodybuilder.
Yeah, he's actually from Seattle. He's about 200 miles away from me. Yeah, I know Jeff. Yeah.
So people like that I started to see way back in the day, and that stuff inspired me I wanted to look like that. Like I wanted to be big and aesthetic, but not necessarily crazy jack bodybuilder like Ronnie Coleman. Like I enjoy all those guys and the huge bodybuilders, but that's not what I wanted to look like. But so I just started pursuing to try to get a physique like Jeff Side. That was my first inspiration really on what I wanted to look like. And then I came across Z's that everyone knows about in the fitness industry, and his videos inspired me to start being myself. And that helped give me some confidence, and I really stuck with the gym. I listened to my neighbor across the street that lived right across the street. He was the biggest guy. He was about a year older than me, and I was like, how did he get so big? So I asked him questions because I was trying to do it on my own, but if you don't know anything about diet, you don't really get anywhere. And he told me to start eating a bunch of eggs, drinking a bunch of milk. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing that. Like I started taking the advice from the guys that were actually big, and then what do you know, it works. So, because some people will try to scientifically break stuff down, but they're not even that big. So I just went straight to the sources, like the elite bodybuilders, and listened to what they had to say, trained how they trained. Like their advice seemed to work the best. And it's like, yeah, a lot of them take steroids, but if you still listen to everything they say without taking the steroids, it tends to work. And I started growing fast. At one point, I put on 20 pounds of muscle in just 2 months. Well, it wasn't all muscle, obviously, but I was skinny, and it looked like, pretty much all muscle. I was still within 15 to 20% body fat coming from being a skinny cross-country runner. And I fell in love with it. I had a girlfriend when I was 16. We dated for, 4 months, and she broke up with me. I saw her in the hallway talking to another guy that my friend had told me she talked to this other guy. And that really, upset me. And I had it was my second year in 9th grade. I had just got in the weight training class. I forget what it's called. It might have been, I don't know, it might have been just called weightlifting or something. But I took that class, and they would be giving us a bunch of powerlifting things to do, like, 5x5, 3x3, all those ways to get stronger and more powerful. But I would just do what I wanted to when I was training. And I was taking the advice from bodybuilders and doing more high reps, controlling the weight. And the football players, they were in there. They were, they were bigger at the time for sure. And they seemed really big to me. And they were strong. So, they motivated me, but I was always the last one in the weightlifting class. I stayed there until the bell rang, and I would go up to the locker room and change while everyone's got that 10 minutes in between classes. I would still be changing, hurrying to get to the next class, get to the next class late because I was using all the time I had at that weight training gym. And like bench pressing, when I was sad that what happened with me and my girl at the time, she, that really motivated me because I was bench pressing. I was getting out all this anger and all this emotion, and it really allowed me to release, all that emotion and build myself up. And you take that negative energy and turn it into something positive. And I kept doing that, and I kept, you'd see your cousins or people you hadn't seen in a long time, and they'd see that I got bigger, and I'd get compliments every single time. So I'm like, all right. Every time I see people I hadn't seen in a long time, my goal is for them to say, dang, you're getting even bigger, So I just kept that going. And then when I was 19, as I said on the show, my mom passed, and she had been slowly deteriorating from the age of 14 to 19. Her MS came on pretty strong, and I had to help her, go from walking. She started limping all the way till she was bedridden, and then only her right side of her body worked. Then she only could use her hand, and her hand stopped working. And I watched her wither away, and that really was tough on me, and because she was the sweetest person in the world, and it hurt me deep down. Like, it's just like, why do the good people always have the worst things happen to them? It seems like. But looking at it now, it's like it stinks because, yeah, I wish I had my mom, but in the bigger picture, in the grand scheme of things, God took her early for a reason, and I was able to use that to help me train even harder. And I went through a long, long time of depression, and it was really bad. But I would always make sure that I hit the gym, and I got all the emotions out, and using the negative energy and turning it into something positive. I just kept building on it, and I was able to push myself to another gear. It's like Seabiscuit, he has the extra gear that other people don't have. The other horses didn't have. So I started having that and growing and growing. And instead of focusing on school, I would stay up all night on YouTube and just study how to get bigger and working out. And that became my passion. And I learned everything about, diet and just how to get bigger. I mean, it was my life at that point. And I had all these jobs, physical jobs, and because I grew up doing landscaping. My dad, he's done physical labor jobs his whole life, and I started having to do all those things, and I did not like doing those jobs at all. But I did them because I'm not going to not work. I needed to make money. But I had a series of time where I would get a job and stuff would happen, and then I'd have to get another job. And I wasn't invested in any job I had. So it was really hard for me to keep a job because I would always still be there on time and stuff and work hard, but I wasn't invested. And yeah, it was sad for me going through that, but definitely made sure I at least hit the weights and built myself up in some ways, because I've heard people say stuff about your preparation. You just keep preparing, and when that preparation meets opportunity, people call it luck. But if you've been preparing all this time, and I really mastered my craft. I heard that. I'm like, let me just master this, and I know something good will come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Power Slap came around, on season 1, it was about to go into season 2. I was messaging, or I applied to Power Slap because I saw the comments on Instagram of all the people hating on it, and I'm like, this is a good time to apply when less people are trying to do it. So I did that. I think I got a response from Erica pretty quickly, within like a month. And then we went back and forth for a while. And I was working at Waffle House at the time, and I almost was able to come on season 2, but then I responded a week too late, and they already got someone else, and then I missed it. In season 2, I saw season 2 come out eventually, and I'm just like, man. And I thought I blew the opportunity because I missed it, and I missed the timing. I didn't think I was going to have another chance to do it. And then, yeah, season 3 was, getting ready to happen, and Erica had messaged me, and I was like, I hope it actually happens. I hope I actually get the shot, because I wrote it off almost like I wasn't going to be able to do Power Slap. And then, yeah, once I got the chance to do Power Slap, I was like, I got to make the most of this opportunity, because I did not want to do a 9-to-5 for the rest of my life. Like, I've always wanted to do what I wanted to do for a job, and love to wake up every day. So this sport has been a lot and meant a lot to me. So, when I had the opportunity and I was on stage, I really gave it everything I had. And it, I have that extra gear, and like on the other side of losing, I was just, I can't lose anymore. I failed way too much in life to blow this opportunity. Like, I had to make the chance. I had to, do everything I could with this opportunity.
Totally. I mean, it's a great opportunity that you've been dealt. I didn't know that you were around and kind of circulating with Erica for so long. So that's really great insight. It seems like also like, lifting weights and bodybuilding is something that helped you get through a lot, through those dark days that you had in front of you. Talk to me a little bit about how you're able to use that dedication. And you talk about the training, the nutrition, the mental focus that goes around it. Talk to me about how you're using that experience you've gained from, being in the gym to translating over to Power Slap now.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it, it really built up my confidence for the sport. And, if I ever had self-doubt when I was at the gym, like before I was about to do any lifts, I would, I'd look at myself in the mirror and be like, dang, I'm jacked. Like, I should be able to do this. And I'm like, don't doubt yourself. And, over the course of building myself up for 12 years of training, all of that is just faith in myself and confidence I was able to apply to Power Slap. And I'm able to flex every single muscle in my body just by thinking about it. Like, I can just do like a bicep flex, anything. So the awareness, the body awareness that I have helps a lot. And when you're able to activate your muscles properly, and it's the way when I go down and I squat way down, I'm like using my leg muscles and my glutes, my core, and powering through, flexing my lat and my chest. If you use all the muscles you can, and you can get more power out of it. And just being able to have that mind muscle connection and apply it is important. And then using all the muscles together like a power lifter would, or someone who does, I guess, like CrossFit, which I never got into CrossFit yet or nothing. But yeah, being able to use the muscles all together as one. The sports in the past, they helped with everything. And yeah, it just makes it really good for when you hit someone. Mm-hmm. You're able to use it all together. And then taking the slap, I'll flex everything up, flex my traps and shoulders, mm-hmm. neck. I tuck my chin and use the neck muscles in the front to help keep your chin closer to, I guess, like the fulcrum or whatever. and you got to get that down, and then you got to flex the core and the glutes and the legs, and flexing everything together as one is important, because you got to think about when you get hit in the face, the weakest link is going to be the first thing to fold. So my thought process is make your body like a brick wall, and when they hit you, hopefully their forearm and their hand is weaker, and that folds before your whole body folds. And that happens a good bit now, like with what happened in my fights, especially the first hit I took. I ate that one good against Cesar. But yeah, using everything together. And what happened? The ref, when he set me up, I was under the impression I was going to be able to lean against the table, which you can, is what I've seen other fighters do. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing against it. And I was going to, put my hips against the table, and, it's like you tripod up your legs, and the table, are all like a tripod. And I was going to do that and flex through it. But the ref actually made me step back, and I couldn't even do that. So I don't know if I think it was just a ref thing, because the next fight I was able to do that. But it threw me off. So, but I mean, I still made it happen.
Yeah.
But that I can't believe that I wasn't able to lean against the table like I've seen other people do, and other people still do.
Yeah, I think that's a ref by ref basis, because some of them we hear say, tuck up with your stomach against the table. And if you were told otherwise, obviously there's a bit of a discrepancy there, and probably still needs to be ironed out going forward. But talk to me, my man. What are you fighting for? What motivates you to keep on going, and really what every day to get up and train for it?
It's a lot altogether. My mom passing and wanting to really, do something great in life. And I want to use my life to help put God on a pedestal, because, without him, I can't do anything. So that's number one, is, proclaiming the name of Jesus. And if I can be great, it's all because of him. And then I really do not want to do a 9-to-5 at all. That really lately is one of the things that's pushed me, because I'm like, there's no way I can do a 9-to-5 forever. I've seen my dad, he's worked his whole life. Really, he's banking on his retirement, and he's still trying to work as he's getting older to have enough money so he can retire and have enough money until he dies one day. And I don't want to have to rely on that at all. I want to be able to work longer and do what I want to do and enjoy my life. Like I do not want to do a 9-to-5. I'm sorry. Like, I respect everyone that does that all the time, because it is a grind. It wears on your spirit, and that's one of my biggest motivators for sure, is not getting stuck in the rat race.
I hear you, my man. I don't want you to give away too much on the show that's happened, but what can people expect to see from you in future performances?
I mean, people can expect to see me giving my all, and, no matter what hit I take, I'm going to, as long as my body's allowing me to get back up, I'm going to be getting back up. I'm going to be giving it everything. People can expect me to be hitting, with a lot of power, expecting that any of my opponents can go out at any moment. And yeah, I'm going to be bringing it.
Awesome, my man. Well, welcome to Power Slap. Welcome to Slap News. Great to be able to chat with you, get your backstory and everything about who you are, the man behind and off the stage. Hopefully this is the first of many. I wish you the best of luck going forward. And one last one for you. Where can people follow you on social media as you continue on your journey?
Thank you, Corey. Luke Simonds on Instagram, same exact spelling as my name, just Luke Simonds, Simonds. Don't forget the D.